The Harlem Renaissance, a time of great change, a time of great art. In the heart of New York City, a neighborhood became a crucible of creativity. Harlem, a haven for Black Americans, was bursting with new life. The 1920s and 1930s saw an outpouring of art, music, and literature. This was the Harlem Renaissance. This period was a defining moment in Black American history. It was a time for Black artists to express themselves. They shared their experiences, their joys, and their struggles. The Harlem Renaissance was more than just art. It was a social and cultural movement. This movement had a profound impact. It gave a voice to the voiceless. It challenged racial stereotypes and prejudice. The Harlem Renaissance celebrated Black identity. It proclaimed the beauty and richness of Black culture. Words have power. They can inspire, challenge, and transform. The Harlem Renaissance saw a flowering of Black American literature. Writers like Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and Claude McKay emerged as leading voices. Langston Hughes, a poet of the people, captured the rhythm of Harlem life. His words resonated with the common man. Zora Neale Hurston, with her sharp wit and keen observations, explored the complexities of Black Southern life. Her novels, like Their Eyes Were Watching God, celebrated the strength and resilience of Black women. Claude McKay, a novelist and poet, brought a militant voice to the movement. He challenged racial injustice and called for social change. These literary giants gave voice to the aspirations and frustrations of a generation. Through their works, they explored themes of identity, racism, and social justice. Their words resonated far beyond the streets of Harlem. They reached a national and international audience. Music filled the air in Harlem. It poured out of clubs and speakeasies. Jazz and blues became the soundtrack of the Harlem Renaissance. These genres, born out of the Black experience, found a new voice in the heart of Harlem. Duke Ellington, a master pianist and composer, led his orchestra at the Cotton Club. His innovative sound captivated audiences. Louis Armstrong, with his trumpet and unique baritone voice, was distinctive and iconic. He became a global icon. His improvisational skills and infectious energy were unmatched. These musical legends pushed the boundaries of jazz. They experimented with rhythm and harmony. Their music was a fusion of Black traditions and modern influences. It was a reflection of the changing times. The music of the Harlem Renaissance was not confined to clubs. It spilled out onto the streets, into homes, and onto the radio. It became a unifying force, bringing people together across racial lines. The Harlem Renaissance was not just about words and music, it was also a visual feast. Painters and sculptors captured the spirit of the times on canvas and in stone. They celebrated Black beauty, documented Black life, and challenged racial stereotypes. Aaron Douglas, a painter and graphic artist, became known for his murals and illustrations. His work often featured geometric patterns and African motifs. He blended elements of Art Deco with African art, creating a unique style. Augusta Savage, a sculptor, captured the dignity and strength of Black people in her work. Her bust of W.E.B. Du Bois, a prominent intellectual, is a testament to her talent. These artists used their art to challenge the status quo. They depicted Black people in a new light, not as caricatures or stereotypes, but as complex individuals with hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Their art was a powerful tool for social change. Section 5. Redefining identity and challenging stereotypes. The Harlem Renaissance was a time of great social and political change. Black Americans were demanding equality and respect. They were challenging the racist stereotypes that had long defined them in the eyes of white America. The concept of the new Black culture emerged. This term represented a new sense of self-awareness and pride. The new Black culture was assertive, self-confident, and proud of their heritage. They refused to be defined by the limitations imposed by a racist society. This new identity was reflected in the art, music, and literature of the Harlem Renaissance. It was a rejection of the old stereotypes and a celebration of Black excellence. This new Black culture was a force to be reckoned with. They were breaking down barriers and paving the way for future generations to fight for equality and justice. The Harlem Renaissance was a pivotal moment in the struggle for civil rights. Section 6. From Harlem to the World, a Global Cultural Catalyst. The Harlem Renaissance was not confined to the borders of Harlem. Its influence spread far and wide, reaching a global audience. The movement's themes of racial pride, cultural identity, and social justice resonated with people around the world. Black soldiers, returning from World War I, brought their experiences and newfound sense of self-awareness to the movement. European artists and intellectuals, drawn to the vibrancy and creativity of Harlem, flocked to the neighborhood. This cross-cultural exchange enriched the Harlem Renaissance, infusing it with new ideas and perspectives. The movement's influence could be seen in art, music, and literature across the globe. From Paris to London to the Caribbean, the Harlem Renaissance sparked a dialogue about race, identity, and social justice. It became a catalyst for change, inspiring movements for equality and liberation around the world. Section 7. Echoes of the Renaissance, Enduring Legacy and Influence. The Harlem Renaissance may have ended in the 1930s, but its legacy lived on. Its impact on American culture and beyond is immeasurable. The movement paved the way for future generations of Black artists, writers, and musicians. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s drew inspiration from the Harlem Renaissance. The themes of racial pride, social justice, and self-determination resonated with activists fighting for equality. The Black arts movement of the 1960s and 1970s also drew heavily from the legacy of the Harlem Renaissance. Artists like Amiri Baraka and Nikki Giovanni embraced the idea of art as a tool for social change. The Harlem Renaissance's influence continues to be felt today. Its themes of identity, representation, and social justice remain relevant in the 21st century. Its legacy serves as a reminder of the power of art to inspire, challenge, and transform. Be sure to subscribe for more stories that celebrate and honor the rich legacy of Black history. Until next time, stay inspired, stay informed, and take pride in our journey. Thanks for watching.